Hey everybody, so we are just pulling up to the Savoy Museum just outside of Atlanta, and this is what the whole place was named after. This is an old Plymouth Savoy that was here on the property with a tree growing up through it when they found it, and they decided we'll leave it here and come up with a name. So here's what it says about it. Put it like that, and you can kind of pause that if you want and read it a little bit. And then the other part over here. So that's kind of cool, isn't it? Plymouth Savoy. So this is called the Spirit of Speed. Looks like an old hood ornament off an old Pontiac or something to me. This sign over here explains what it is. 5 tons. I was like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, 40 feet. Wow, that's crazy. How cool is that? We're into the Cannonball stuff. I know that they had the Cannonball stuff on display. If you're watching this and happen to not know what the Cannonball Run is, you should really look into it. It's years of amazing stories of speed records. This car held the transcontinental record 77 hours and 40 minutes. I'm gonna have to do the math on that one. 70, holy cow. Broke the previous record of 79 hours. Man. Can you imagine sitting in this thing for 77 hours? And it was a Studebaker. Yay. So what I'm reading on this car is it was supposed to run in fairly recent history to replicate a 55-hour run done by a Graham many years ago. It wasn't ready, but apparently they're still going to try to do it at some point in the future. That's nuts. No way I'm doing that many hours. in that car. I don't care how cool it is. So this is one of my most favorite Cannonball cars of all, because especially from a distance you look at it and it just looks like a Ford Taurus until you get up close and you realize that you're looking at an Audi. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff about this car out there. But yeah, I mean, look how much this thing looks like just your standard cop car. It's amazing. And they did a lot of real fake work on this thing. And when it ran, I know in the pictures I've seen when it ran, it didn't have the stickers on top. It was just plain Jane white, looked like a complete unmarked cop car. Wouldn't be a bad place to spend time, would it? As I recall, this thing had radar jammers on it and everything else. I'd have to read up on it a little bit more. To be honest, I haven't read the thing here, but it's crazy. Is made to look like a Honda Accord. That is epic. There again, not a bad place to spend some time, huh? And it talks about as a high schooler, Ed Bullion became enamored with the Cannonball Run. Yeah, so did I, but I sure as heck didn't have the money to ever do it. Can you imagine 3 people doing that? Oof, May. I don't think so. I couldn't do it. But the CL55 is a gorgeous car. I think Ed Bullion's done the Cannonball a couple of times, if I recall. And then one of my favorite BMWs ever. This body style was absolutely one of the prettiest BMWs. Wow, look at all the electronics in that thing. Looks like a cop radio in there. Four times in the gumball. Travel across European continent. Crazy. Arrested for impersonating Italian police. Oh, you can see the lights under there. That's hilarious. Yeah, that's not going to be a great shot. We'll cut that one out. Look at this, 51 Volkswagen Beetle. This thing is amazing. It's kind of funny how a lot of the Beetles never changed over time. This thing, look at that interior. It's even got a fancy pillow in the back. Look at that. And these things right here, semaphores, is that what they were called? I don't remember exactly, but they were turn indicators. They'd flip out. And of course, this is one of the early Beetles with the split window on the back of it. How amazing is that? And over here, 58 rolls. Of course, you can't miss those. Let's put this up here so everybody can read it. A lot of these cars were custom coach-built cars, too. So you would buy basically the chassis. And then you could send them out and have them built. Look at that interior. I don't know. I feel like the bottom of the seats should match the back of the seats, personally. Interesting. Shelby truck. We'll look here so people can pause on that. 755 horsepower. And I believe this is a replica of what they run at Georgia Tech. I think I remember seeing something about this on a video. So, there again, we'll take a picture of that and let everybody just pause and read about it. I'm guessing there's a few of them because it says 3 Rambling Wrecks. I'd love to get my hands on an old Model A. They're just neat. I got to drive one once. Have you ever had a chance to drive one of these? Put it in the comments and let me know. Non-synchronous shifter. You got to know how to turn the gas on. It's just craziness. Then over here's a curved dash Oldsmobile. I have never seen a real one of these before, to be honest with you. I've seen some fake ones, and I know about them because, oddly enough, my 8th grade shop teacher had a fake one, and we got to ride around in that as 14-year-olds. That was super cool. And then a Lincoln Mark II, and this may actually have been in the era when it was not considered a Lincoln. It was considered a Continental. There were times when Lincoln separated the name. Still love to get my hands on one of those. Continental. Yeah, I believe this is the era where there's nothing on this car that says Lincoln, if I'm correct. Sorry for the shakiness, but I don't have a good gimbal yet. I have a junky gimbal, but I don't have a good gimbal. So, then over here's a BMW i7. I think most people know what those are. Front door opens to let you in. I'd love to drive one of these things, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. Maybe my roommate and I can find one of these, and we'll buy one of these and load our luggage in the back and drive it home to Florida instead of taking a big comfy electric car.
Can't do that, man.
He would absolutely murder me for that. So let's look over here and see what's going on. I believe that's Chrysler Airflow. Let's look at the Willys coupe first. Look at that thing. So most people know Willys is the part of Jeep, but they also made cars. $495. Lowest price four-size car in the world. There again, the roommate would kill me if I was able to find one of these to bring home. I do believe he'd make me drop them off in Atlanta and he'd buy a plane ticket. So there's a Chrysler Airflow. A lot of people don't know about these. I'll be honest, I don't know much about them, but I know of them. We'll go around here and take a picture. It was supposed to be like a really legendary car at the time, I think. Safe-wise and everything else, if I recall. Wind tunnel testing. And the front and rear axles. I may be wrong about the safety part, but it had some pretty wild technology at the time. Sure would be nice if Chrysler could do that again, wouldn't it? I think Chrysler's not gonna be with us much more, unfortunately. If there was ever a car company that was limping along, Chrysler would be it. Sad, really. Boy, look at that seat back. Reminds me of the buses when I was a kid. Could you imagine hitting your face on that thing? Man. There's a whole lot of metal in there to whack yourself on. Yeah, I don't think safety was a big one on that one. I think I'm thinking of another car. So, look at that dude right there now. We'd have to have extra time to get home in this one. Roommate would have to sit in the back seat because I wouldn't want to sit that close. I knew it was a GM, but I wasn't sure if it was a Chevy or a Buick. Then an Ash. Just a Nash is a Nash. I mean, they're just Nashy. And gee, how did that car company ever not make it? But it did have some Italian flair to it with the Farina, this says, but that must have been maybe before Pininfarina. Hey, I bet there was Pin and Farina, not just Pininfarina like I always thought. Okay, well, hey, that's why we do these things. We learn new stuff. Hydromatic. Just that whole thing of hiding the wheels, that's just crazy to me. Oh, Lincoln Zephyr. That's a machine right there now. There's another car company that's kind of struggling to figure out who they are at this point in history. Lincoln. But look at that thing. How gorgeous is that? V12 Lincoln. See, this is what I think of when I think of Savoy, of a Plymouth Savoy. I guess I didn't know that they made a 50s vintage one. Or earlier 50s. Like what was outside. I don't like those people say it's got plenty of room in it. Yeah, it sure does. Somebody's installed seatbelts in it. Those didn't happen in 1959. And then we spin around to this. The 1937 Cord. One of the most amazing cars. This isn't a supercharged Cord, though. Interesting. I know Cord had I thought Cord... I'm going to have to go back and look and do some research because I thought Cord had a supercharged car as well. But man, look at that interior. That is gorgeous. Just the aerodynamics of this thing for the 30s. It's an 88-year-old car. So this is just one of the rooms here at the Savoy, and they move cars around and stuff, and so now we've covered the Cannonball Cars and we've covered this room. Let's go look at Duesenberg's. So as gorgeous as some of these cars are, I still think I'd rather have something that was in this kind of condition. Something that, yeah, you're not going to drive it too much, but if there was a road rally for classic car or something that you could feel like you could take it on. Friends of Ancient Road Transportation. I want to join that group. See, this car, absolutely stunning. That color, I don't know if you can tell, but it's green, which on a car, my absolute favorite color. I'd have built it with a tan interior, but man, I would not be a choosy beggar. Wow. But the problem with a car like this is it belongs in a museum, unfortunately. And I would want a car that could be taken on the road. Yes, even if I had the money that it would take to own a Duesenberg, I would absolutely want to be able to take it on the road. What about you? Tell me in the comments if you were able to drive one of these things. If you were able to own one of those things. Well, maybe some of y'all can own these things. By golly, if you're watching my channel and have Duesenberg money, let me know. I will make a trip to come see your cars. But would you drive one of these? If you had the kind of bucks to be able to afford one, and nice original roadster or something. Even this one doesn't look like it's got a brand new restoration on it. I mean, there's some cracks in the leather and stuff like that. Honestly, I'm not looking at things long enough to tell if they are original, but some of it you can just tell. '27 dual cowl. Wow. 27 Model A. Man. Ooh, look at that green. And here was the coolest part about a Duesenberg over here, is that's how you bought it. You got a frame, you got an engine, you got a grill. This is how you bought them, and then you took them to a coach maker. So I guess if you wanted plywood strapped to it, you could have. How amazing is that? So here again, just one more of the areas at the Savoy Museum that'll be changing up in a few months. Yeah, I'd be afraid to drive that. One of the things they've got on display right now here is Shelby's and Shelby related. We're going to look back into the back room over there. But I think what most people think of Shelby's is they think of that or they think of that. But there's a lot more. I watched a review of one of these cars one time, old car review, And the reviewer said that the 427 AC Cobra was an angry car that was trying to kill you all the time. I would love to drive one and find out.
I don't think it's locked.
But my understanding is they are an angry, angry handful of power. And then this is my favorite Shelby of all, 67, 68 GT500. That green is gorgeous. I have driven one of these. It was a canary yellow GT500 KR. And oh my gosh, what an amazing car. I mean, still looks a lot like a Mustang on the inside, but with a whole lot of engine shoved under the hood. And then we've got GT350. Still a gorgeous automobile. Then we're going to walk back into the Shelby area back over here. And this is a Shelby America right here, as I recall. I could be wrong on that. But this is a car company that Carroll Shelby actually, Shelby Series 1 Roadster. Okay. These are very limited production. Wow, this thing even has the seat cover still on it. Everything on the interior is still covered. It's a brand new 2022 car. And this is, unless I'm wrong, this is when the Shelby GT500 came back, this body style. I put a deposit on one of these and then thought better of it. It wasn't a Super Snake, it was just a GT500, but I'd have died. There's no doubt about it. I don't claim to be a smart man. And then this was one of those crazy ideas that Chrysler's had many, many times over. Let's slam a Hemi in a pickup truck, small one. No, I got a better idea. Let's make it a Shelby. And that's what they did. So, there's old Carroll Shelby and his chili cook-off stuff over there on the right-hand corner. If you've never tried Shelby's, Carroll Shelby's chili, it's pretty good stuff. You can buy it in the store and make it up. But this thing's still looking very fresh inside, isn't it? Look at that. Yeah, that thing is brand new. And then this is one of my favorite oddballs. This is the Shelby GLH-S. It was a Dodge Omni. And The Dodge Omni was no slouch to begin with if you had the stick shift. It was a 2-liter, but for the day it was pretty sharp. 2.2, I guess. And then this, they slapped a turbo on it, and then they intercooled it, and it just turned into a little rocket ship. It literally, the GLH goes like hell, and then the S just Shelby. But when you look at it, it's just such Chrysler of the time. I mean, it's so much plastic. The seats, they didn't even make them fancy. These are the same exact seats that were in my mom's Dodge Omni. Probably the same shifter that was in my mom's Dodge Omni. But yeah, they were just such weird little cars. I just really liked them. So anyway, that's the Shelby collection they've got going on right over here. And here we are. So now we're moving into a section of the museum that is going to make my dad very, very emotional. My dad has a very big soft spot for old Jags. He's never been a very smart man when it comes to cars. And by that I mean he buys the stuff he likes instead of, let's just say I was never raised to believe that a Toyota Camry was a wise car choice and reliability is the most important thing in the world. Yeah, no, never was raised for that at all. It almost makes me sad that he and Mom own a Subaru nowadays. We're going to have an upcoming video on that Subaru here soon. It's going to be part of a series I'm going to do on older folks and cars that are good and just different things for older folks. So this is '55 open. '34, so this would have been, I was going to say, this is when they were still, they weren't even Jaguar, I don't think, in '34. I think they were still SS, but you can see right on the front the SS emblem. Jaguar changed their name from SS to Jaguar after some little war in Germany that caused some issues. XK, one of my favorite Jags ever was an XK. Look at that. So other than some pictures, I think this is kind of going to pretty much end our tour. There's plenty of art around here. If you haven't made it, it's definitely a place to come. It's in just about 45 minutes outside of Atlanta, and it's a really cool place. Honestly, I wish I would have called ahead and seen if I could have gotten a little bit more of a tour of this thing. So, anyway, I hope everybody enjoys their time and has a good day and come up and see this place.